Lovely. A little bit of wordage. Hi guys, Dan Hendrickson here at Torquay Golf Club. We're in the studio. Hashtag AskDAN time. So, I've had an email in today from a chap called Nathan. Nathan's looking to upgrade his golf clubs. He is looking at possibly 2 sets of irons that he wants to choose from. He's asked me to do a quick compare for him. So, we are looking at the Taylormade P770 irons, and we're going to put them up against the Cobra King Forged Tour iron. Both very similar looking clubs. I fully understand why Nathan is looking at doing this. He said he's a low spinning player and he wants to get something that's a little bit of help, but also something that looks good and that he can get a bit more spin from. So let's have a little look at these irons. We're going to get some driving data from in the studio. I'm going to hit a few different types of shots as well, just to get a feel for them, and let's have a little look. Okay, we're going to start with the Taylormade P770 iron. We're going to use the 7 iron for this particular test to get our dry ball data. For all you shafties out there, we're going to be using the KBS Tour 120 gram. I'm going to use that in both the Taylormade and the Cobra. A bit of tech on this particular head. We've got a 70 gram tungsten bar that goes in the back of this head. You can see it just in here. This is more in the mid to long irons, so you wouldn't see this necessarily down in the wedge or the pitching wedge in this set. Again, we're looking for more stability up in that sort of top end, and we don't need it quite as much down in the sort of shorter irons, should we say. This is a forged head, and we've got very little to pretty much no offset, certainly no offset down at the ball with the shorter irons, but maybe a little bit more of a progressive offset when you get up into the sort of 5 and 4 irons. Loft wise, we're looking at 33 degrees of loft in this Taylormade iron. Okay, looks down at the ball, as I would expect from this particular iron. It's a very, very medium to thin top line. I would say moving more into the thinner of the two. Very, very little offset. When you get into the lower irons, more in sort of 9 iron pitching wedge, we're going to start to see very little offset and then maybe a little bit of progression on the way through. It's forged in its design, which obviously gives you a slightly softer feel if that's what you're kind of looking for from an iron. I think we have to have a little look at this one again. Is it line ball? Is it line ball? Oh! Next up is going to be the Cobra King Forged Tour iron. Again, 7 iron. For all you shafties again, there it is, the KBS Tour 120 grams. So we're going to keep it consistent from that point of view. Right, we've got tungsten weight in the bottom of this club, in the heel and in the toe, just to try and keep that CG a little bit lower. Again, forged head, very, very little offset in this. They're almost identical in the looks from this point of view with the 2 clubs. Even thinner top line. I don't actually think that this is any particularly thinner, but what they've done with Cobra is they've managed to just carve off the edges here. You can see a little ridge that runs across the top, which makes it look a little bit thinner from the top line. 33 degrees of loft, so again, very, very much the same as what the Taylormade is offering. We should again start to see some decent spin numbers with this particular head. Now, I've actually gamed these irons, so I know exactly what they feel like. Probably in a comparison between the two, I would say visually this one possibly looks a little bit longer in the face, so looking down from sort of heel to toe, it looks a little bit longer. The Taylormade, now I've measured them and there's not a lot in it, but actually looking down it does look a little bit squatter again. So some people like to look at a little bit more face. I would say that the Cobra probably offers that. Okay, so that's 5 pretty good shots with both irons. Let's go and have a little look at the numbers that it's producing and see which one comes out on top. Okay, here are the numbers that we've produced from the 5 shots from each club. So Taylormade you can see here on top. You can see the spin numbers there, it's averaging 6.6, lowest one at 6,000 and highest one at just over 7. Peak height at 32 yards high, and average carry there at 165, peaking out at what's that, 169. If you look down at the Cobra King Forged, you can see here spin numbers up at 6.7, so what's that, 100 revs more on average. Lowest one at 6.3, highest one at 6.9, so almost identical to what the Taylormade is producing. Again, strike would have a big impact on that. Height 32 yards high, so exactly the same as what the Taylormade is producing, and distance carry 166, peaking out at 170. Pretty similar numbers, I would say. So numbers wise, it's almost identical. There's nothing in it. It comes down to possibly the strike of what I was doing on those particular clubs. Launch was in probably 1 degree of each other, but you would expect to see that from the, you know, the quality of what those clubs are. For me, it makes no difference. It really comes down to what you want to look at when it looks down at the club. Like I said before, the Cobra comes out a little bit longer in the face compared to the Taylormade, which is a little bit squatter in the face, and that will come down to your personal preference of what you want to try and get from it. Let's have a quick go with the 4-iron, and let's see what that gets if we have a little shootout. Right, we've got a shootout with the 4-iron. I've got hold of the 4-irons for these particular sets. I've set us up for the 204-yard par 3 over the water. Let's give them a hit. P770 4-iron, 204 yards. This one's first up. I can't hit it much better than that. Let's see this shot again. 4-iron, Taylormade. Hit it very, very nicely, very well struck. Just a little bit left of target. Carry distance. Going about, what's that, about 206, 204, 205. So it's hit its number, so it's 200-yard carry. That's very good for me. Just a little bit left of target. Cobra King Forged Tour 4-iron. It's just got to get inside that bunker. Right, let's replay the 4-iron with the Cobra. So again, really well struck. That's taking dead aim at the flag, that one now. I think carry was 193, finishing out at 207, which is about where I hit it. And we are inside the bunker line. Pick that up. Okay, so there we have it. We have the Taylormade P770s against the Cobra King Forged Tours. For me, there's not a lot in it. They both feel exactly the same. The numbers are producing are exactly the same. A little bit difference in their look, slightly thinner top line with the Cobra in comparison to the Taylormade, but I think I prefer the squatter look in the head of the Taylormade over the Cobra. For me, I could game either of these clubs. Very, very similar spin numbers, but we have to go on competition, and well, the Cobra just edged it out when it came to the 4-iron, didn't it? Anyway, good luck with your choice, Nathan. Let me know which ones you go for. I look forward to catching up with you again soon. If you like what you're watching with the show, please subscribe to the channel. You can tweet me at Hendrickson Golf and hashtag AskDAN. Is it line ball? Is it line ball? Oh!